Hi, this is Scott Ware with Radiance Magazine, which can be found at radiancemagazine.org, and with the Xpnsion Network. Now, have you ever met someone who remembers the conception of the universe? Well, that's about to change if you haven't. Matias De Stefano is my guest, and he has a new show on Gaia.com called Initiation, where he eloquently answers the big questions like, how does this universe work? Do good and bad exist? Do we really know all of humanity's history? What is the spirit? Matias seems to have been born with his pre-incarnation memories intact and brings together faith and science, the spiritual and the physical, all to address life's biggest mysteries. In fact, one fan said of him, "Thank you, Matias. Now I understand many things that I only vaguely grasped at the edge of my dreams." And that feels like the truth because I've seen his show and it's amazing. Welcome, Matias. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Where are we talking to you from right now?
I'm in Barcelona right now.
Okay. And so it says Campus Arcean, but you are obviously not that. Matias De Stefano. So you've said that a big consciousness has a big responsibility. What did you mean by that, or can you speak to that subject?
Well, yes, we are all working to have more consciousness, and sometimes we are still bounded by the concept of divine as something that is out there and something that we have to reach and to find, and so we can feel like expanded in the universe. But as much conscious you get, as much closer you get to the core of the reality, you realize that you are the universe and you are just a tiny part of it, and that you are bounded and connected to everything. So suddenly you realize that every movement you make, every thinking, every thought, every feeling, everything that you do, every breath is changing everything. So suddenly, when the biggest consciousness you have, you kind of became like still, like I cannot move, like I am just in this state of meditation because whatever I do change everything. So that's why it takes a big responsibility to be aware of who you really are, because whatever you do is changing everything in the past, in the future, and the present.
So it sounds like a good way to live is, first of all, to know that we are the universe and to just get quiet and still and just pay attention to every movement, every thought. But see, even a lot of people don't know that they can actually control their thoughts. What would you say to those people?
Well, we've been taught that we're separated from everything. Now science knows that it isn't, that we are all connected. It's something that we always knew, but we kind of forgot, and now science is trying to explain in a different way. Yeah. So all these people that believes that we are separated, it's really difficult to understand that every thought can change realities. But the truth is that thinking is just waves of vibration. So in these waves of vibration, if everything is connected, all these waves is like in a lake throwing a stone. So it someday or some moment somehow it will touch the borders of the lake, and every little stone will change the structure of the whole lake. So that's why every thinking can change the whole universe.
I like to use specific examples so people know, like, okay, let's say, for instance, politics in general, and say you don't like some things that are going on, but you want to keep your vibration high because that's a better way to live. You have more health, your cells, everything is operating at a higher frequency. So what would you tell yourself in your mind to keep your vibe high regarding that kind of a situation like politics?
Well, there is many and thousands of things that are happening in the world that are really good. And the thing is that media tries to show us the bad things. So when we talk about politics, we're not thinking about all the good politics that are going on there, out there, which are all these people helping in other countries, all these organizations working in the climate change in Africa and Asia, in all these wrong places around the world, seeding trees, doing new agriculture. There's so thousands of millions of things good going on that if we concentrate our minds in just the bad things, which is like the 10% of it, we will believe that the 10% work. But if we focus on the 90% of the good things that are happening, suddenly the 10% is be smaller and smaller because we don't pay attention to it.
And I'll be honest, I see that good stuff on Facebook. I see people planting trees, planting forests in special ways, helping children, helping the autistic. But in the main media, the matrix media, if you will, there's an old expression that says, if it bleeds, it leads, meaning it's going to lead the news at the top of the news if it's got those elements to it. So I love what you're saying, to just, so then you would change your thoughts. Then you would tell yourself, hold on, I'm fixating too much on something that is lowering my vibration. Let me focus on the good.
Yeah. And I would like to say that it's not ignoring the 10%. It's just giving strength to the 90%, because that 10% controls everything. And that 90% of the good things in the world, because they are not out there, like you cannot see them all the time, like you see the 10%, they seem to be less. But when you put your strength, it's like when you have a problem and you just can't see the problem, and you are not wide open to see all the solutions to that problem, you will always leave the problem. But there are so many people working on solutions that only pay attention to the problem, so we will never see that there are solutions. So every problem in this planet has at least like 7 solutions to it. But we're so focused on the problem that that our minds are just focusing on watching the problem and vibrating the problem.
That sounds like a good title book. Every problem has 7 solutions.
Yeah, at least.
At least. Yeah, I think Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it.
Oh, of course, no.
Yeah. Well, some people have said, some people who understand that we live many lives have said, I'm tired in this life. I've done it all, I think. I'm ready for this to be my last life on the spiral and go on to the next level. But they seem a little tired, maybe a little negative. What would you say to those people?
Oh, prepare to leave another one.
At least one more, yeah.
At least one more, yeah. because when you are ready to go into another level of consciousness, it's because you're not tired. You are not able to get to the 5th dimension unless you enjoy every atom of the 3rd dimension.
Wow, every atom of it. Okay.
Yeah, and until you don't get how do you say in English, like when you don't get to be like full, like happy, more than happy, like the joy of living. It's like St. Francis, like he used to see the light even in the dirt, in the, because when you see the perfection of this third dimension, and when you enjoy every little part of the third dimension, it's because you are enjoying the creation, and that's what allows you to get into the fifth dimension. So it's not that, oh, I'm tired, I think I did everything. That's very human, and human lives in the third.
Yes. Okay. So you got to be able to transcend those feelings to go to the next level. Okay. But
to get into the fifth dimension, normally you don't have emotions.
Okay, so is it a goal in this life, for instance, or in a relationship, like talk about relationships being 5D versus 3D? Is that a goal, or should we just enjoy as much of the 3D at the highest vibration possible? Or
whoever took it as a goal is because they didn't got the universe. They had no idea how it worked.
Okay.
Is to rethink about it, because the universe is not capitalism. So
right.
Yeah. So fifth dimension is not to become boss of a company. It's not something you work for it, and it's something you became. So you need to become the fifth dimension, and in order to become the fifth dimension, you have to transform yourself, not to achieve things, but to evolve. And evolution is not, I don't know, for example, the first rats in the planet had no idea that they wanted to be humans. And
yes.
We are here because of those rats that went under the ground when the asteroid came. So so they just were living, and because of that, so so it's not something pyramidal. It's not something like we build the societies. It's very different. So
yeah,
no, it's not a goal.
There's a big idea in America, especially, well, in the English-speaking countries, about ascension, that the goal is to ascend. And some people think you leave the earth, but a lot of people are starting to understand you don't leave the earth like the Christian belief of the rapture, where their clothes are left on the floor and they go. But they're still.
Sorry. I wanted to say about that. The thing about ascension is something that we build in the idea of European, Middle East, and North America. No, sorry. European and Middle East idea of how the society works. In order to become closer to God, you have to become king or become priest. So you have to ascend in the level of society to get closer.
Sure.
Okay, but if you go to South America and Native America, they don't ascend. They go to the core of the planet. It's totally opposite. So you have to be bounded to the ground, bounded to the roots of the world in order to get enlightened. So it's totally opposite. It's about society, how we build idea in this planet about what is reaching God.
So North America, it's because the water swirls one direction, but then the descension is what they're going for in the south. I'm just teasing. I understand. I understand what you mean. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's more grounding. So in essence, what you're saying is we should all become like St. Francis.
Well, a little more clean, but
sure. Exactly.
Yeah, we didn't like him, but it's about to see the perfection even in the dirt, even in those things that we settle like dark and ugly stuff. The perfection is behind the shapes. everything, even the darkness, is built by the structures of energy. So when you are willing to go to the fifth dimension, one of the things you have to transcend is duality. So, but not transcend the reality of duality, transcend the idea of duality, because we have an idea of duality that is not the real thing what duality is.
So we're all one is what you need to get to.
Yeah, you but again, it's not a goal. It's not that you have to go. It's like being lost in a forest with many paths, but being one is to remember which mountain are you in. You know, it's like, okay, I know the name of the mountain. This is the mountain I'm going. But there are thousands of paths to go to the top of the mountain. But being one, the concept of being one is to remember in which mountain you are. It's not a goal to get there. Is the name of the mountain. That's the.
I see. Okay. And in this reality, we're afforded many opportunities to do that, right? In fact, from now until the end of this life, we have thousands of opportunities. So there's no shame in saying, oh, I got there, but today I'm really angry at things. But that's just another opportunity to go back. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, and planet Earth for the galaxy is like, planet Earth is Disney World of the galaxy. You have so many roller coasters, so many stories and plays and games and so many things to play with and to enjoy and also to be sad about. And there are so many things that I will call it like Disney World or Disneyland from the galaxy. So that's why so many souls and spirits wants to come here to evolve, to learn, because evolution is not something that brings you up and away from matter. Evolution is something that tries to embrace every point of the creation in just one being. So it's not about living stuff, it's about integrating stuff, transcending the idea that we had about all this stuff.
That's brilliant. I love that. In your show, Initiation on Gaia at Gaia.com, you talk about all these concepts and you make them more easy to understand as much as you can. You do it very well in English. And yet some people might say, well, should we be connected to stories? Aren't these stories, and what stories are true and what stories aren't true? Or should we just latch on to stories that empower us? You know what I mean by stories?
Yeah, of course. Well, I once met a woman that she was born in Romania. That
she was born where?
What?
Where was she born?
Romania.
Okay.
The country in the Middle East.
Yep.
Oh, in Middle East, in Eastern Europe. Sorry. Transylvania, vampires. So that there. So everyone knows. So she was born there, and it was a communist country, and so a lot of things from the West world was forbidden at that time. So kind of hidden, she saw a movie, and it was prohibited, but she saw the movie, and the movie, it was fake, of course, because it was a movie, but right. it was inside of her a truth that was not meant to be there, that there was another truth, that there was something more. And she told me all the story of how she escaped the country, to go to Germany, and then she crossed the wall, and then she got into West Germany, and then she flew to the States because she wanted to see the place where the film was made. And she got to that place in, I don't know, Iowa or wherever, and people said, no, the movie was filmed in LA. That it was all fake, you know.
Yeah.
So she went to, because she wanted to be in the same spot where the movie was filmed, and her life changed entirely. And it was amazing for her, all this, and it was because of a story that was a fake. So what does stories make to human hearts? It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It's about what moves you within. Because even if what I say is my truth, it doesn't matter that is the truth. It's the truth that I saw from my perspective of the universe. It's not the entire truth, because it was just one looking into one direction. So all the other directions, I have no idea what happened. You know.
Right.
So I just saw my path through the creation, and I'm. So maybe the other one that saw the other part says, no, it wasn't like that. I saw this reality, and I would say, oh, great. You know, I had no idea that happened in that side of the universe.
Right.
So my story is maybe not true for everyone, but my goal is that this story is not meant to be believed. It's meant to move within, so you can follow the truth outside. You know, so because you have your own perspective of how the universe was created, and maybe it's not mine.
What do you recommend? No, that was a good story you just told. I want, maybe later you'll tell me a story about vampires. So
yeah, sure.
what do you recommend for people? What would you consider a good spiritual practice for people in general? I mean, everyone's going to have their own thing. Some people like yoga, some people like meditation or guided meditations that you hear on YouTube. But in general, what do you recommend for people so that they can know themselves the best, know what they're capable of, maybe expand if that's what they want to do? What general recommendations do you have?
The general recommendation is to, I guess, to do exactly what they feel with the entire body to do at any time. And why is that? Because maybe I can teach you, I don't know, some ways. No, breathing is the best way, or you have to meditate 5 minutes a day. And the problem is that we are all different. So, for example, animals and plants, they don't have
a practice.
A book. Yeah, they don't have a practice, but they work perfectly because they are who they are meant to be every second. So the problem with us is that we are waiting for someone to tell us what to do in order to improve ourselves. That's why we are a mess.
So because we give up our power to people.
Exactly. Yeah, and that what I would say to everyone is to sit a little bit and see how their dogs, cats, or the tree in the street, what they do. Spend a day just observing what they do. Just observe what the cat does all the day. He sleeps all the day. Why? Okay, and you will know that the cat maybe doesn't care of anything, but when you are sad, the cat knows where in the body goes and put over the part of the body that is wrong with you, and just sleeps there, and then when you feel better, goes away.
Yes, that's right.
Not charging for money, nothing. Just, you know, so because animals and trees, plants, they know 100% what they are doing in every moment. We don't. We we had so many
Distractions.
possibilities. Yeah, sorry, because we evolved to understand how the universe works. So we needed to be so focused on so many things in so many times to improve ourselves that we lost the connection with them.
Yes.
So so our own evolution got against us in such a way. So I would advise just follow exactly what you feel you have to do, always, if it doesn't interfere with the freedom of others.
Exactly. And I know you were raised, I mean, you had so many memories from the time of other lives that you brought into this life, and you've probably always been very in touch with yourself. A lot of people aren't. They got into the machine. They believed all the things they were told that they should do to behave, to look good to other people. And they get older and they're like, I don't know how to listen to my body. So do you have any recommendations on how they can tune in, what they can do?
To listen the body. Well, what I would say is to dare to change the way you live in small things in your normal day. Like, I don't know, you go to work through the same path every day at the same time. Change the time and the path you go to work. Just a stupid thing, yeah.
Yep.
But your body will start to react, like saying, what are you doing? It's like, what's happening? So you will feel it in your intestines first. Maybe you get nervous. Maybe even you have diarrhea. Because your body starts to say, what is happening? I don't want this to happen, or what I am letting go. So all the digestive system will react. So that tells you how your body is attached to your life, and maybe you start to need sugar or coffee, or like, and then you realize by the flavors of your mouth, the smells you feel, the brightest colors you see, how your body was reacting to your life. And when you change a tiny thing, you will start to see different things. So it's to pay attention to how your body reacts to small changes.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's
like
good.
even changing stuff in your house, like the TV, the sofa, the couch, I don't know, make you crazy. When you tire your body, when you start, for example, I used to do these trips in Egypt. I bring people to Egypt to do this special path to like an initiatic path, and and the first 3 days are the worst because they kind of doesn't sleep, like
they're off balance.
just 3 hours. Yeah, so they start to be like, oh my God, where am I? Which day it is? Where we are today? And we are on the boat, so they don't really know where we are every day. We are changing all the time. So so they get like crazy. And by the 4th day, they start to feel and they start to move along when they sing and they start to meditate and they say, why am I moving? So because you lost the control, so the energy flows better through your body, and that's why you start to move by your own. And then people start to feel stuff, to connect, to listen word, but by the end of the trip, they were like, oh my God, it was so good to be so tired at the first, and and so
Yes.
And to become so crazy the first 3 days, and no sleep, and all tired, running in the mountain. So so when you do that, your body is like losing control and allows the spirit to take control.
That's the key.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I love it. Okay. So
Mm,
that's, yeah, how to let the spirit free, put your body in different situations, different circumstances,
yeah.
change it up.
Start with
Okay.
little things,
Yeah.
and
I love
then
that.
yeah.
Do you, what do you wish people would ask you more often? You know quite a bit about these things, about the universe, how life works. What do you wish people would ask you more often, maybe even in interviews?
Mm, I don't know. I don't really know. Um, I guess I guess like this, like what can we do? Uh, the practical thing about how do we start to change this, or what, or why are we changing? You know, like this practical things about what we have to do now, because of course normally is good to listen about stories, Atlantis, other worlds, aliens, and all this is fun, and it's like telling a story of the wars in Europe, and you know, like Middle Ages. Is like it's fun to, or you can enjoy to listen all these things, but they are not practical for us today.
Sure.
And so that's what I would like more, so
Okay.
people could, I
What
guess.
did what did you discover later in life? Not that you're so old, but that you didn't know before about the universe. Like, what came to you? Like in the last few years, what have you learned about the nature of things?
Well, I'm always learning because I'm always paying attention to the world, in every trip, everything. I'm always rethinking about the concepts that I know, because if I just stay with what I know from when I was a kid, I wouldn't be evolving. So I need more information, and you know, so I love to listen to people that know stuff, and to read about biology, and one of the things that in the last time I was learning more and understanding more was this biological way of seeing how everything works, not only by the spiritual, but how everything
Connected.
is yeah, is working in the perfect way that even a doctor could understand it, even if they are not spiritual beings
Right.
or people. Um, it's like how the world is working like a cell, and every day I learn a bit more. Even yesterday I realized about something that was, oh my god, I had no idea about this, and I had it in my hands all the time, and I couldn't see it until yesterday, for example. So it was like, oh great. Yeah, so I'm always like remembering and learning stuff. Yeah.
Okay. But no, there's nothing you want to share today, like some little nugget of knowledge that came to you recently?
Well, for example, one of the things that I've seen yesterday in a post of someone that they are working with the network of civilizations, the ancient network. They use this network that I was trying to use for many, which is the grid, the planetary grid. Maybe you've seen it, or someone have seen it in internet. If you look for planetary grid, you will see this grid in this map with all the icosahedron red, the icosahedron network in the planet, and but the grid is aligned with the North Pole, physical North Pole, and the physical South Pole.
Oh,
So all the spots, all the spots are aligned to specific places that we consider sacred in the world. But in the recent years, I had troubles with that. It didn't resonate. So it was like, should I go to those places? How really works the network? And one of the things that I received, information that I received, is that we used to separate the things, like the physical and the energetical, like if they were two separate things. And the physical thing, the physical reality is just the projection of the energetical one. So,
That's right.
so one of the things that I realized was that we were looking for the portals of the planet in ancient civilizations, but the ancient civilizations just arrived like, I don't know, 30,000 ago, but the planet was built like billions and billions of years. So we shouldn't be looking into pyramids. We should be looking into volcanoes and mountains, which are the real pyramids of the planet. So
Wow.
so I started to look to that, and suddenly I realized that if you just switch the magnetical grid and you look into the core of Pangea, you will find the alignments of the whole network in geography, and not only magnetical, also like the planet, like you know the Da Vinci Vitruvius man. Yeah,
Yes, of
the
course.
guy.
Of course.
Okay, the perfection of the human in geometry.
Yes.
So so you take the same in the planet, and you will see that the continents fit in the flower of life. The continents are just distortions of perfect spheres that are dividing like cells, and each one of them are connected precisely with these magnetic lines. So so the pyramids were built to download that information, but the pyramids are not the network. The network is natural, and the pyramids were built to download the information from the natural network. So when I saw that, was like, oh, this is the one we were working with, not the pyramids.
Okay.
So,
So this sounds like information that's going to be in Initiation 2, the next season, maybe, huh?
no idea, but but it's information that I am going to share during the whole 2020 and 2021, and I'm going to do this trip to those spots.
Are you going into volcanoes?
No, inside, but I'm going to the spots that are aligned to that natural grid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing that, of course, we should go into the volcanoes or look to them. And I know there's some we can go into a bit instead of the pyramids, because the pyramids, maybe also they were to show us things or to indicate things as well as receive information.
Yeah, it's like we have now technology, you know, like these computers and cell phones and all that, but the base of what it makes it work is silicon. So the only thing that
was interesting.
scientific did was how to transform silicon into a level of consciousness. But the pattern of information is already in silicon, even if you didn't use it. So it's like when again Michelangelo, was it? Yeah, building the David.
Yes.
David.
Yep.
Yeah. He wasn't sculpting the created the David. He knew that he was already in the stone.
So he took
he just carved. Yeah, he just carved it to see it, but it's not it's not his idea. It wasn't the stone. That's what he said. So so silicon is the same. So the information is already in the mountains. The connection of Wi-Fi, it's already planet. We are just shaping it into ways that we can use, like computer. So
and tapping into the frequency.
yeah, so they did the same with the pyramids. They just used the silicon to create pyramids so they could download that information as we are doing now with phones.
Do you have any events coming up that you'd like to announce in early 2020?
Yeah, well, it will be a whole year of events because I'm going to go to all these spots, and Gaia is going to help me to get to every one of those spots. So so I'm going to make like videos to keep people following the trip that I'm going to do during the whole 2020 and 2021. So it's just following the trip and following every one of those spots, because I'm going to travel to all of them to kind of, what I'm going to do is like going as a technical, like technician, like to synchronize the same radio station in all of the spots, so we can all listen.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know you have a Spanish. What are your websites for English speaking and Spanish speaking?
Well, we are working on it, because right now we are opening to English mostly. Of course, everything is in Spanish, but my website is in Spanish right now. We're working on it. It's my name, and so with my name and just the website and my name, and it will come up all the information.
All right, excellent. And in my last question, what do you wish people knew about death?
About death? Mm-hmm. Well, is the biggest hangover you can have.
Good.
It's the end of a party and the beginning of a new one. So for all of us, death is just another step. Is not the end of anything. We are so attached to this life that that we forgot that death is just transformation, and it's not ending. It's just a new expansion in different ways. It's not like your soul coming out of the body and going to a paradise or whatever. It's more your vibration expand in the universe, so you're connecting. It's like when I can describe it, like your phone dying, like your phone is dead, but you have all the information in the cloud, so you can download it in another cell phone. Well,
true.
Imagine it like that.
Okay.
So yeah, so the main thing is always there.
But the main thing is not to get too attached to things. You said we get so attached to this life, but we should think of things differently.
Anciently, in ancient times, we used to say to our kids, "Welcome to life, the path to death." And our goal in life was to die, and to die properly. So in order to die, you have to live happily. So so that's why it's important how you live. It's not because you need to live. It's because when you die, the only thing you will bring with you is all the vibration that you got in everything that you did. So that's why it's good to invest in experiences, not to invest in physical stuff.
That's a beautiful note to end on. That's great. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you for this. MatiasDeStefano.com. So that's MatiasDeStefano.com. Or
Yeah.
M-A-T-E.
Or O-R-G.
O-R-G.org. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this interview with Radiance Magazine and Xpnsion Network. We're going to look for you on Gaia.com as well, because that TV show, Initiation, is amazing. The graphics that are working with you and what you're saying are so beautiful. I feel like it reminds me of when Deepak Chopra first came to the United States, or first was sharing, and he had a poetic way about him that I think he brought from India, and I think you have that same thing. I don't know if it's, where are you from originally?
Well, my family?
Where were you born?
Oh, Argentina.
Oh, Argentina, okay. Yeah, so.
Yeah, well, we are a country of psychoanalysis. No, not religion people.
Yeah.
My country is more like psychologist people. So maybe I bring a little bit of that. Yeah, I was sharing in Gaia, and people that used to follow me, they say, "Oh, you seem so serious," because I'm trying to be like doing it like properly, but I usually love to laugh and move my hands because I'm Italian Argentinian, so I blah blah blah.
I see. Okay. Well, it's okay because these are such massive concepts, and you're very clear. I mean, you're like a conduit to the divine, delivering this, and it's wonderful the way you do it. It's perfect. But yeah, we get to see you on YouTube too, and there's some subtitled ones in English on YouTube as well. So, but thank you for what you're doing. Thank you, because it makes the world and our universe a better place. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing it.
Okay. All right, and thank you all for watching.